Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our fifth webinar entitled Not All Media Partners Are Created Equal. My name is Richard Anderson, and from all of us at Shepherd, we appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your day to learn a little bit about media partners. I'm going to start right off with the keys to success. They're fairly basic, but I think it's important that let's begin with those so you have a good understanding of what it takes to be successful in your media partnerships. The most important is to know what your ecosystem values. And by ecosystem, I'm referring to your exhibitors, your sponsors, as well as your attendees. What's most valuable to them in terms of information? Second point is, where do they go for education and information? You need to do the research and find out where they're going. You also need to know where they're hanging out in social media channels. What do they favor? What do they use them for? The next 3 points are really the basics for finding strong partners, and that's relevance, reach, and opportunities. And for relevance, you want to look for partners that have blogs, online communities, or associations with the most potential to reach your audience. For reach, you want to be sure you vet your prospective partners based on how many of the right people they're reaching. Find out how many newsletter subscribers, blog readers, group members, and social network followers they have. And opportunity. You want to identify as many different opportunities a partner can offer to both promote your event and to offer opportunities for your sponsors. Let's talk just for a few minutes. Some of these might be obvious, but let's take a look at why media partnerships are valuable. They have similar objectives to yours. You have alignment there in terms of wanting to reach the right people. They have a reachable community and context that may not be available elsewhere. In the best of all worlds, it's not going to cost you any money. It's pretty much of a barter relationship. Your event can gain additional credibility. The media partners are a great, credible source for good quality inbound links. And they can give you quality content and vice versa to help drive more traffic for both of you. Let's spend a few minutes talking about how you go about identifying a potential partner. There's an abundance of ways to find sources to promote your next event and exponentially multiply your marketing reach by working with other organizations that share similar target markets. And here are some easy to reach, easy to query people to find good potential partners. The first is your own sales team. They're in direct contact with your target market, and they've probably gathered some pretty valuable insights from their conversations. Eager sales folks will be reading about the event topics, so they may already have done some media research. Your production and ops teams, from their research, they should have spoken with the main thought leaders, analysts, influencers, and sponsors, and they may have some particularly friendly contacts that would be happy to connect you with media organizations and other key influencers. Competitive events, check them out. Check out their brochures, their websites, and if a media organization is partnered on somebody else's event, there's a good chance they're going to be open and likely to partner again. Google Alerts. You can set up Google Alerts for your most relevant keywords, and you'll get daily notifications with the websites and sources that publish news with your particular keyword. LinkedIn groups. Frankly, these days you can market your entire event using only LinkedIn. Groups are one of the best possible ways to reach your particular target market in a fairly easy manner. You'll be able to identify specific individuals that post more regularly than others within the groups. The chances are that those people are highly influential, and they might be analysts, they might be consultants that have some level of influence as well as a customer base that can be highly relevant. So connect with them, tap into their connections, and who knows, you might even find yourself a potential sponsor that way. Twitter, similar to Google Alerts, you can search for relevant hashtags for your event. You'll easily see who the big influencers are by the number of their followers and the frequency of their tweets. Send a direct message via Twitter and engage with them. And usually they'll be happy to promote your event so long as it's relevant to their own followers. Facebook, the search function really isn't as good as the others, but you can find some groups by entering keywords in the search pane. In addition to the usual suspects, magazines and the such, you might come across some independent communities around your topic or event theme. Connect and direct message with them. Another great way is to find groups by checking out what industry magazines and potential media partners they've liked. That's a great head start in finding like-minded groups and pages. And Google Plus, that'll pretty much work the same way as Twitter. Next step, how to choose the right partners. Have boiled this down into 5 key questions. And let's take a look at how to go about securing them once you've found out who you think all your hot prospects and suspects are. One major note, the easiest way to begin is by writing a generic email and sending it to all your potential partners. That's not a good idea. By taking this approach, you simply demonstrate how little you know about the company that you're trying to partner with. And guess what? Probably a good percentage of your competitors are doing exactly the same thing. This just leaves you in a weak position when it comes to negotiating, if indeed you get this far. So here are the 5 questions. And again, you want to make sure you do all of this research before you get in contact with them. It's important that you be as informed as possible. Question number 1, why does the company exist? What business are they really in? This is an easy place to start, whether you're approaching a publication, an association, a company, or a website. You can discover most of what you need by reading through their mission statement, their About Us section on their website. What is it that they're looking to achieve with their business? Find out what drives them, and then you'll be ideally positioned to demonstrate how your goals potentially align if you decide they're a good potential fit. Question number 2, how does the organization make money? Here, you need to identify the organization's main revenue stream. And you can do this by looking at what they offer to determine their primary focus. It could be membership and subscription fees, could be advertising, events, magazines, books, corporate sponsorship, government funding, and so on. By finding out how a potential partner generates their revenue, you'll be able to consider how your resources could be used to add to them and grow this stream. Question 3, what benefits are they looking for? This question is absolutely imperative to researching for a marketing partner for your event. You must have a bulletproof reason as to why the company would want to get involved with you and why it would be their commercial interest to do so. Again, use their company website as a base for your research. Is there a magazine, app, webinar, or networking group that they're keen to promote? And before you even think about dialing the phone or dropping an email, find out what it is the organization would be most interested in bartering with. Got to know what you're playing with that before you make that call. This is also a good time to analyze the value possessed by your organization, which the partner would find appealing. For example, if you have a multi-touch point marketing strategy, that's hugely valuable to event partners and sponsors alike, because it means that you've got a wide range of media across which to deliver your or their message. Having an active and engaged online community is also a great selling point. But if you have particularly good responses to your blog or dedicated Twitter following, you should be sure to highlight these too once you get in touch with them. Question 4, what do you want from them specifically? Essentially, you're getting in touch because you require another channel that you could use to market your event. Identifying the marketing resources that the company has, for example, email, newsletters, blogs, webinars, LinkedIn groups, and so on. You need to know what is available for you to potentially use. You want to find out about the volumes and their reach so that you'll be able to maximize your results should you wind up doing business with them. Make sure you scope out their target market. One good thing to do is look at their subscription forms and look at the kind of information they collect about their customers. If they have very few form fields in their database, there's a good chance that they have a huge database, and which makes it unlikely that the majority of the contacts would be relevant to you. Also, try to ascertain their level of influence and credibility within the industry. Are they retweeted often? Do their articles and blogs get positive comments? These elements are a good indication of how engaged their audience is and what their standing is in the industry. Number 5, very key. What might their objections be and how can you handle them? It's not always the case that a potential partner is going to be willing to immediately jump on board with you, even if you've said what you think are all the right things. Some organizations are going to take a little more convincing that your value prop is in alignment with them. But if you've researched them thoroughly and you feel confident in your reasons as to why they should be a partner, pursue it. Find out what their objections are. There could be things like too time consuming, not relevant to their audience. They might perceive that your attendee numbers are too low. Maybe they don't feel your event has enough credibility in the market. Think carefully about how you counteract the objections. And for example, if delegate numbers are too low for the company to consider, highlight your social media followers. Tell them about your database contacts and other impressive statistics that they might want to have access to. We're just going to spend 2 quick slides on this. Another big consideration is this a process that you want to handle in-house, or do you want an outsourced agency? It can be a fairly time-intensive pursuit. Basically, here are the responsibilities of tracking down media partners. You need to create media sponsorship packages. You need to solicit media partners to negotiate and coordinate promotional arrangements, negotiate efficient and cost-effective buys, the placement of the advertising, reviewing of the placement schedules, reconciling the media bills, coordinating publicity efforts with the media partners. So there's a fair amount of work to be done. So just a couple of quick pros for both outsource and insource. If you outsource, it's a good practical solution. You're having the work done by someone who does it for a living. They're going to have, because of their experience doing it, you're going to get some fresher ideas, a little more brain power behind it. They have established relationships. It allows you to free up some internal resources. It's going to be a quicker speed to market. Your quality is probably going to be a little bit better. And it's still relatively cost effective, again, because you're mainly talking about a barter-based system. Keeping it in-house has some advantages as well. You run the communication show. You maintain a little more control, which also because you have a stable environment. Probably be a little more passion behind the effort with your own people. The relationships are owned by you, and you have greater and more transparent impact. So just a few quick notes on uh, whether you should keep it in-house or consider an outsource. There are a tremendous number of great outsource partners out there that you can look for. And if you're looking for some ideas, don't hesitate to contact us. I want to shift gears a little bit. I want to talk about social amplification. And, that is, of course, marketing efforts that are used to encourage your ecosystem to spread or amplify your messages on their social networks. From an event organizer's perspective, what this means is that you're encouraging everyone in your ecosystem, your registrants, your exhibitors, your exhibit stand staff, and your speakers to tell their networks that they'll be at your event in order to increase your registrations. So you have 5 different groups there that you want to engage with. And what I want to do now is I got a hold of a study which I found pretty interesting. And what it did was it wanted to take a look at the potential of social media amplification. So what they did was they went and did some surveying. They surveyed, their sample contained 24,000 exhibitors, 43,000 attendees, and 5,000 speakers. So that's the sample. And here's what they learned from that. If you look at that from a potential point of view, we're going to extrapolate out their data here. So if you look where it says exhibitors and brands, the average exhibitor company has about 775 Twitter followers and over 2,500 average Facebook likes. So when you extrapolate that out, that gives you a potential of 668 impressions that you can make. Let's do the same for your exhibitor stand staff. The average exhibitor stand person has 448 average Facebook likes, 455 LinkedIn connections, 356 average number of Twitter followers. If you extrapolate that out with, say, 10 people working your booth and 200 exhibitors, that's a potential amplification of 2.5 million. Registrants, 449 average Facebook likes for the average registrant, 353 average LinkedIn connections, and 158 average Twitter followers. Extrapolate that out with an audience of 5,000 attendees, that's 4.8 million. Speakers are important. Speakers are people that are typically influencers in the industry. The average speaker has 1,024. You extrapolate that out. If you have a large conference and you've got 50 different presenters, you suddenly have an amplification of over 51,000. So that really helps to illustrate the power of social media. So most everyone has some social media program, and what I hope this would do is this would urge you to, make sure that you're doing everything you can to help, get the word spread by your ecosystem. There was just one case study of a company that really, or an association that really took the extra step in terms of invigorating their ecosystem. And here's the numbers from their case study. It was a show with 3,500 people. Of that 3,500 attendees, 411 of them participated in social media on behalf of the event. Through that, 100,000 people were reached, and they were able to track an additional 200 and 80 trackable registrations. I think that works out about 8% increase in registrations. That's pretty significant. So that's it. Here's how you can reach me. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to send me a note. And a video of this webinar along with the deck will be posted within the next few days, and you'll be able to get that at our website, shepherdes.com. So once again, thank you all very much for taking the time to join us today, and please don't hesitate to get in touch with me if I can do anything for you. Thank you. Have a good rest of the day.